welcome you to the Scale Adventure podcast. We have, I would say, one of our favorite entrepreneur. It is so crazy that we only met him twice, but he's in the category of favorite because I believe that we've met a lot of tech entrepreneurs. But this entrepreneur is also very well aware of people development, culture, leadership, and a lot of care for his people. So that's what I understood out of my conversation with him. I want to welcome Rajeev. Rajeev is a founder and a CEO of Graytitude. In fact, I'm going to spend a little time asking, hey, what is Graytitude? Tell us more about how did that name come about. Also, tell us what do you do, Rajeev, at a business level? Who are you as an individual? If you can give us a nutshell.
All right. Thank you, Selvi, and really appreciate you giving me the moniker of being one of your favorites. So appreciate that. Yes, I am the founder and CEO of Graytitude. So we are a tech company. We started in Boston, Massachusetts, and now we are global. I call it we are the global company, global and local, both. And interesting about Graytitude, a lot of people either mispronounce it as gratitude or they say, what is Graytitude? So when I was founding the company, I struggled with the name of the company, and I just didn't want it to be another tech name with tech in the end. We wanted to have a meaning and purpose behind it. So I started looking at the names. After 50 or so names and scrapping every one of them, I went back to my roots and said, okay, what were some of the values that my mom instilled in us? And the number one value that she always said is that be grateful for what you have, because if you compare yourself to others, you might not have everything they have, but be grateful for what you have. So I was like, wow, she always instilled gratitude in us. How do we take that essence of humility, essence of being grateful for what we have, and then what is the purpose of a company? The purpose of a company is innovating for our customers. And where is the essence of innovation comes from? It comes from the brain and the gray matter of the brain. So I took the gray from the gray matter of the brain and gratitude, combined them together. And so our purpose is innovation with humility. We don't know everything. Sometimes we'll learn with you. Sometimes we'll learn from you. But our commitment is that we are always there to help you, innovate for you, with you, partner with you, and just make sure we are adding tremendous value to your organization. So that's how the name Graytitude came. As far as our company goes, we have a pretty diverse set of domains that we deal with. So what I say is that we break our offerings into multiple vernaculars. One is, which is pretty straightforward and very near and dear to my heart, which is we call it strategy consulting. In simple words is you are a CIO or VP of IT, you are looking to either change a certain part of your business through technology, you're looking to innovate in a certain area, and you need help for brainstorming, for putting a roadmap and a strategy together. So I personally get involved in some of those work, but I also have a very good network of CXO advisors that are part of our company. We engage them with our customers and help our customers build the strategy together. And I can tell you, nobody can do it alone. So that's where we come in and partner and help. And sometimes they need affirmation, sometimes they need a different perspective, and sometimes they need just a radically new approach to things. So we come in and help there. So that's one element of our business. Second element of what we have is the solution. So strategy by itself doesn't mean anything if you cannot execute.
Yeah.
I'm a big believer in execution because execution is king, right? Ideas are cheap, execution is king. Yeah. So we want to make sure that we are there for our customers to help them innovate and execute on the ideas that they are coming up with it, or we are collectively coming up with them. Our domains are very commercialized domains. So Salesforce is one of our biggest domains. And I also believe that's very important because for any company, go-to-market and sales is the biggest piece of their business, right? So we help companies with their go-to-market, marketing, service, cloud within the Salesforce paradigm. We also have what we call is intelligent automation and connecting your systems together and making sure your ecosystem is smart, intuitive. That's our second practice. And then nothing goes alone without information security. So security is a big piece. You can innovate as much as you want, but if you're not secure, you will be in trouble. So we do security assessments, help build security roadmaps, and even help with implementation of some of those things in our customers' environment. And then the fourth really big piece of our business, and it's an emerging, what I call is, especially for our Fortune 1000 customers, is around mainframe computing. And sometimes mainframe computing gets a connotation of being an old legacy technology. But what people don't realize is majority of the Fortune 1000 companies run on mainframe computers. So that's a huge part of a business that is growing rapidly and globally. And we have a pretty good presence in India, where a lot of our engineering happens as well. We have an office in Belgium, in Europe. And then obviously we have an office in the US, and our talent is dispersed globally.
What I liked is that you mentioned you started with something, or you start, let's say, with a strategic consulting or some kind of a support at a strategic level, and then they ask you for solutions, and then they're like, wait, you're anyway solving this and this. Can you also take this over? Something that I have noticed with clients is that they come to you with a problem, you take care of it. They want to give you B, C, D, every other problem that exists. Because obviously, the challenge here is really taking care of your clients and making sure that you are truly serving them, which I believe one of your promises is really trying to be innovative and bringing value to your clients. So, what I want to move to is that maybe you want to tell us who are your clients and what are one or two top challenges that they face with what you are doing with them.
Yeah. So we are very fortunate that we have a very diverse set of clients. So normally a lot of companies pigeonhole themselves. For us, I think organically we have grown across the spectrum of clients. For example, for a mainframe business, it's mostly Fortune 1000. Then we also are dealing with startups. So on one end of the spectrum, we have Fortune 500 and Fortune 1000, and we have startups as well. So I always say I don't discriminate what level of company you are. As long as we feel like we can add value to your environment, we will be happy to help you and partner with you. So our customer base goes from startups who are like less than few million in revenue to mid-size, which I would categorize as anywhere from 20 million to 100 million in revenue. Then little larger, 200 million to a billion. And then we have companies that are over billions. And obviously there are customers who are trying to innovate within the go-to-market space. So we partner with them to whether they are trying to build a partner ecosystem and they want to engage their partners in the process. So from lead management and opportunity management, hey, how do we make it more effective for our BDRs and our salespeople to engage with the clients or prospects while not being bogged down by minutia of technologies? Can we innovate in that space? Very powerful, because we have customers who have 2,000, 3,000 sales reps. And now they want to innovate in that space. And you have to put a lot of thought into innovating in that space, right? And then we have customers who are like, hey, we need to understand our vernacular of where do we stand on the security posture perspective for our company. Can you come and do the assessment and tell us where our gaps and weaknesses are? Some of our customers are going for security certifications because they are software companies. So again, it's a vast majority, but those are some examples of where we are helping our customers.
What I keep hearing is that part of your innovation is to simplify for your clients, so it's easier for them to do it. So maybe you can give me one or two examples of some of the challenges you help solve.
I think making something simple is actually a lot harder than making something complex. So complexity is very easy for engineers. They can create something with bells and whistles and make it innately complex, but then it's hard to consume, right? But designing something that is powerful yet simple is very difficult. So one of our clients, we worked with them, and their challenge was they were growing really fast. So when they're growing really fast, they're hiring 600 to 700 to 800 people a year. Plus they had some turnover. So they're constantly looking at about 1,000 hires a year. So for them, the challenge was, how do we open the racks? How do we actually screen, interview, offer letters, hire, onboard, all that stuff? So on the surface, it looks pretty simple. You just hire more people, have more talent acquisition people, etc. So the challenges were managers were opening the racks, giving it to the talent acquisition team. But then it took time for, when do we interview? How many people are interviewing? The scheduling with the candidate. And then it's just a nightmare. So what we did is we automated with Slack as a front end to deal with integrating it with Workday and their talent acquisition platform. So what was happening is the hiring manager will actually initiate a chat with the recruiting person within the company. So they know that they're assigned a talent acquisition person is, say, Jennifer. They're like, hey, Jennifer, I'm ready to open a position for business analyst. So then our bot would generally join that group conversation as well. And so the moment you say requisition, and it was a keyword way, NLP based, natural language based, and then it will prompt and it say, okay, John, do you need to open a rec? Do you want me to open it for you? So John will say yes, and John will provide the title and everything. And then the bot will say, oh, I see that you're looking for business analyst. I have these job descriptions in my database. Pick one. So then you will like, oh, okay, this matches exactly. So you, and then it automatically creates a rec in the Workday system, assigns it to the right recruiter. Then it starts the conversation with the recruiter and you and the hiring manager. And then the recruiter can ask certain questions. Once they get all the information, the bot will actually remind the hiring manager to say, okay, who do you want to be on the interview panel? And they will give the name. The moment recruiter finds something and say, oh, I need to schedule something, the bot actually traverses through everyone's calendar and finds the open spot for the recruiter. So now imagine when you have a 20-person talent acquisition team and you're dealing on like at least 10 recs a day each. Now, if you're talking about 200 recs, and if you are even saving 5 minutes, and that's 1,000 minutes saved just in scheduling. So it will schedule, then the bot reminds them, hey, today you have a meeting with this candidate. Here's the resume in case you haven't seen it. And then once the interviews are over, the bot actually asks very simple 3 questions about the candidate in Slack. So you can immediately type or you can talk to it. And then it automatically puts the feedback in Workday. So the recruiter don't have to even worry about nudging people to give me feedback. It's a huge problem where people will not give feedback. They will interview and then they move on to another meeting. So all that stuff was done. And then once the feedback is good, the recruiter will convey it to the candidate. Bot will help with the offer letter and generate everything. You can fill out the details. It will send it on recruiter's behalf, follow up with the candidate to say, you haven't signed it. Can you sign it? Here's the deadline for signing it. Once that is done and the candidate's date is required, it opens a ticket with IT help desk in ServiceNow that, hey, Selvi is joining Graytitude and her start date is October 1st. So you need to have this laptop and this stuff ready. So now the ticket is already there in IT help desk, so they know what to do, and recruiter doesn't have to worry about all that stuff. So very intense. We had to design that whole process and system. But in the end, you can imagine it's like hours of saving every month, and it's a recurring thing. So that's one example of simplification of a complex process, finding opportunities to automate certain things.
Wow. I'm actually glad you did explain at a detailed level, because I think sometimes, oh, we just simplified the recruitment process. You're thinking, oh, okay, you just got somebody else to call or whatever. But to hire 1,000 people. So that's a great example. And thank you for sharing the whole process. Hi, everyone.